What's up, everyone? This is Jdog from Jdog'S DVD Dungeon here with you one more time for the second part of my Psycho review that I'm doing for the Squid Flicks Psycho Mother's Day movie marathon. I left off where the private investigator, like in my last review, he had just came to the Bates Motel to question Norman on the whereabouts of Marion Crane and stuff. And like he's questioning Norman's acting really nervous. The investigator happens to catch Norman in a few lies, so his suspicions are raised. So he leaves, he goes and talks to Lila and Sam, telling them, like, yeah, he's not quite satisfied with the answers he got from Norman, and he thinks that there could possibly be something up. Like, something could have happened at the Bates Motel and whatnot. So he says he's going to go back there and check into things. So you have the investigator, he goes back to the Bates Motel. He's snooping around. He decides, well, I'm going to go up to the house. Because there have been reports of an old woman walking around the house, and like Norman had mentioned his mother, so he wants to go talk to Mrs. Bates. Maybe she knows something. So he goes up to the house. He's knocking, he's yelling around. He's not getting any answer. So he's walking up the stairs. And I really like this scene. It's really slick, like really slickly shot and stuff. Like some of the camera work and stuff, especially for 1960. Like as the investigator's walking up the stairs, just the angle it was shot at. This is a scene that it always really creeped me out with the music and like the visual of when he gets to the top of the stairs, and then all of a sudden you have Mrs. Bates comes running out at him, like in the dress and the wig with the big butcher knife, and stabs him right in the face. And then I really like the shot of how he's backpedaling down the stairs and the camera's following him the whole way. Really well shot. It's a classic scene in my opinion. But, well, yeah, just check it out. As I'm doing the review, I decided I'd sport the shirt. This is my Psycho shirt with little Janet Leigh and the bra action on it. One of my favorites. So. But anyway, back to the review. You got the detective getting taken out by Mrs. Bates. Then it kind of, I don't know, I think it switches back to you got Sam and Mary, and they're worried. They haven't heard back from the detective and stuff, so they decide that they're gonna go do a little searching around themselves. Like they decide that they're gonna go to the Bates Motel. But before this, there's another really cool scene where Norman's talking to his mother because he's starting to get nervous. There's too many people poking around and stuff. So he's up in the room, he's talking to her, and he's like, yeah, mother, you're going to have to go hide in the fruit cellar. Now, this always had made me laugh. Like, it's kind of funny, Mrs. Bates replies, like, why do you want me to hide in the fruit cellar? What do you think, I'm fruity? Like, I don't know, to me, I've always found that funny. But anyway, you have Norman and his mother getting into an argument because she doesn't want to go down into the fruit cellar to hide. Norman's scared that people are going to find her, so. But anyway, it switches back. You got Lila and Sam. They're now at the Bates Motel, and they're posing as husband and wife because they want to do a little digging around. They got some suspicions that possibly Norman like found out about the money and either talked Marion out of it, swindled her out of it, or foul play like has ensued, and Norman's taken the money. Because they kind of got a little backstory on when they went and talked to the sheriff told them, like, wow, Norman doesn't have a mother. Like, his mother died 10 years ago. Like, saying how it was a suicide murder, how Mrs. Bates had poisoned her lover when she found out that he was married, and then took cyanide tea herself and killed herself. And so, yeah, they're starting to wonder, well, who is this woman there? So they're digging around, and they go to room number 1, and they find this slip of paper. Has something to do with the money, so now they know for sure that Marion had been there. So they keep snooping around and stuff. You got Sam. He decides, well, we're going to have to go up to the house. I'm going to go distract Norman. You can go check up in the house, see what you can find. So you got Lila Crane, I guess. She's she's snooping around the house, looking at Mrs. Bates' room and stuff. And at the same time, you got like Norman and Sam, they're in the parlor having a discussion. Starts to get a little heated, like Sam's pressing about the different things, like about the hotel business and stuff. Well, Wouldn't it be nice to open another hotel and this and that. Then he starts almost right out accuse Norman of stealing the money. And Norman, he gets upset. A fight ensues. He smashes Sam over the head with something. He knocks him out. And he knows that the jig's up now. He knows that the girl's snooping around the house, so he goes running up there to check it out. Because, hey, he doesn't want anyone to find Mother hiding down in the fruit cellar. But where does she go when she sees him coming? She runs down into the basement, into the fruit cellar to hide. As she walks in there, she can see a woman sitting in a rocking chair. So as she's walking up to it, to talk to Mrs. Bates, she touches it. It spins around. This is another real creepy, eerie scene. Like as the chair turns around, you have like a mummified skeleton Mrs. Bates sitting there, all dressed up. So she sees that. She's like, "Oh my God!" She hollers, but at the same time she turns around, and here you have Norman dressed as Mrs. Bates. He comes running out with the butcher knife, ready to stab her. Just at that time, Sam happens to come back. He grabs Norman, wrestles him down. Norman has like a retard attack. Kind of freaks out. Yeah, and that's about the end of that. You got the police come, they take Norman away. But I really liked the end of the movie too. Like once everything had happened, they're all down at the, I guess it'd be a psychiatrist's office or the police station possibly. And you got this psychiatrist, he's explaining the case, because he had interviewed Norman, but not as Norman, because he's a split personality. It's Norman / Mrs. Bates, because Mrs. Bates had been dead for years. And yeah, Norman had dug her body up out of the grave and was, I think, pretending to be her, talking in her voice. He's a damn good ventriloquist, if you ask me, old Norman was. He was throwing that voice pretty good. But you got the doctor, he's explaining what happened, why it happened. And I like the character of the doctor is played by Simon Oakland. Like, any of you guys are familiar with 70s stuff, you might remember him from like the series Kolchak the Night Stalker and the Kolchak movies. Like he played like the publisher guy, like Kolchak's boss Vincenzo. So yeah, I always enjoyed that actor. But he's explaining like how Norman, after committing matricide, it's like it bothered him so much he kind of erased the whole thing happening, and he lived vicariously through his mother. So they had a real codependent relationship, because Norman, he can't exist without his mother. He just needs her around. But at the same time, you got Norman's mother. She literally don't exist without Norman. So the two of them kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, myself, I find this, as far as old movies go, I don't really enjoy a lot of the old black and white. Like, I like the old Night of the Living Dead, of course, and a few others, but after watching this again, and the job they did with this DVD, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I hope if you've never seen this movie, you give it a chance. Like, don't turn your back on it just because of the fact that it's black and white, because it's a really well shot, really eerie, like enjoyable film. Like, there's a lot of classic Hitchcock scenes in this. So, yeah. Very well shot, very atmospheric movie. Suggest you check it out. But this is Jdog here for Jdog's DVD Dungeon, and in cahoots with the Squid Flicks boys. I'll be doing the Psycho Mother's Day movie marathon. Well, this is only the first of 5 reviews I'm going to be doing. It's been a lot of fun so far, so I hope you guys are having as much fun watching. Stay tuned, I'm going to be reviewing part 2 soon. Peace.